program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
We have clear skies this morning, but it is quite chilly, and this is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
You are live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Safari Live. My name is Byron, and on camera with me is Dave this morning. Some of you may have already seen Brent out. He is out with Fergus, and we've got Alice and Kirsten and Rebecca in the final control this morning. It is a chilly morning on Safari Live. It's about 16 degrees Celsius, or about 68 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's quite cold for us, especially being out on the open vehicles. But we just got going, and we're hoping to find quite a bit of activity this morning. Brent has got some surprises already that he's found. We're going to be looking for lions, personally. We're going to try and find some lions. I heard lions last night. Not far from camp, but I think they were moving and covering quite a big distance. Now, yesterday we had a mating pair of lions, a male and female, in this area. So I've just come to have a good look and see if they're still around, perhaps. I doubt it, though. I'm sure they would have moved off, but it's always good to start checking the last place that we found them. Hope all of you have had a good weekend or a good start to the day, wherever you are in the world, or end of the day if you're in the western side of the continent. These cold mornings, cool mornings are great, though. Hopefully we'll get a lot more predator activity, animals moving around. Alright, now speaking about predators moving around, as I mentioned, Brent has got a surprise for you.
Surprise! We've lost our surprise. Xongile has gone into a Tumburti thicket. By the way, my name is Brent, and I've got Fergus on camera. And we're trying to follow a leopard through the thickets at the moment. And you're on your very own privately guided live African safari. If you want to ask any questions, use the hashtag SafariLive. Now, I think she's carried on parallel, so I'm going to try from the road. But if we get no luck there, we'll have to delve into the dip, into the Mwati River. But I think she's moving towards the dam cam, so those avid dam cam watchers, please keep a lookout in case she pops out there before I can find her again. And what a wonderful way to start Monday morning. And she was just outside Inga's house where I live when we started a drive. So what a great way to start. Now, of course, I'm loving every second, and I'm taking in every little moment of Djuma, because this is one of my last drives here for quite a long time. So, and of course, don't worry, you will see me, but the next time, after the next couple of drives, you'll see me in Kenya. Okay, so Xongile was heading north. Now maybe she's popped out onto the road, otherwise she's moving through these thickets. There's quite a few little dips and that we can't drive through. I'm pretty confident we're going to find her again. It's just a matter of when. Let's try down here. So James Morning is wondering, out of the small prey that Xongile has been targeting at the moment, which would be the best in terms of nutrition? Well, meat is meat and a cat must eat, so all of it is actually good, from the terrapin to the water monitor to the grasshoppers. Any little bit of protein will help her grow and survive, so there's no such thing as a really bad meal for a young leopard in the position she's in at the moment. And the position she's in is somewhere in the thickets. She's really managed to, she just went into a little gorry thicket where we couldn't follow. Now we've come around, I'm hoping we will catch up with her. Oh, that would be a stump. Lady Fire is saying, will her having wet feet change her tracks on the road? No, it won't. And the only reason I mentioned she had wet feet, it looks like she's already been climbing into a pan this morning, probably after terrapins. And as I say, I think she's heading towards the Vuyatela Dam. Quickly to cross to Byron.
Oh, we've just managed to spot a jackal running down the road. A side-striped jackal, but I think it's going to disappear fairly quickly, and off it goes. It was at a full sprint, actually right past us. We caught a glimpse of it just running down the road as we came onto it. Not sure if it smelt anything or if it's potentially looking for food, but sprinting down the road, we may have given it a fright if it was walking down. So not sure where it's going, but I think, is it back on the road there now? Is it? There he goes, back on the road. Just trotting along, possibly looking for food, or maybe heading back towards a clearing. These side-striped jackal do prefer clearings. Look at that big bushy tail. They are beautiful little creatures, the jackal. Now these side-striped jackal actually feed on insects and fruit. They're not just scavengers. The blackback jackal is more of a scavenger, whereas this one has got quite a range of food within its diet that it will feed on. It was nice to see jackal running around. So it does appear as if it's just walking around, smelling, potentially trying to pick up any scent of food that it could possibly go for. And off it goes. Wonderful. Oh, that was a nice surprise. Nice to see the jackal. And great that Brent has managed to find that young leopard so early. He heard the impala alarm calling earlier and then managed to find the leopard. Now I'm still in search of lions. I'm just checking the boundary road at the moment to see if we don't see any tracks. It's always difficult at times to see clear tracks on these main roads because a lot of other vehicles use these roads too. And also I'm not sure which direction those lions went. Where we left them yesterday, they were moving towards a thicket, but they were generally heading in a westerly direction, so towards Simbambili, Arathusa area to our west. If they crossed over there, it would be very difficult for us to find them. But we're just going to have a good look around and see. Perhaps they're still in this area. Mating pairs of lions don't generally move very far. They'll stay within an area for a number of days. But again, it's difficult to say. It's not to say they won't move at all. Carly, well, jackal, they're not quite similar to coyotes. However, I think they are part of the same family. Coyotes are part of the canine family, and so are jackals. So they're kind of related. They are kind of related. I know coyotes, if I'm not mistaken, coyotes do occur in packs. But actually, I don't know. I don't know much about coyotes, to be honest. Jackal will form small family groups, especially the side-striped jackal. You'll often get a male and female pair, and their pups will grow up within that small group, that family group, and then eventually move off. But it's not uncommon to see jackal in groups, and especially the black-backed jackal. If there's a big carcass, you'll see a number of them coming in to scavenge. They're very good scavengers. So once the lion and hyena, for example, have moved off from a kill, you'll probably get this black-backed jackal coming in trying to scavenge. Aaron, so I always find this difficult question because, so you asked, are the jackal considered to be pests? Well, in their natural environment, obviously they're not. They play an important role in nature and in wildlife. However, in parts of South Africa, and especially farming communities, black-backed jackal are considered to be pests because they do kill sheep. So the farmers don't like them very much. But again, it's difficult because I always feel that we are technically in their home. So I know farming is important, but who is actually the pest then? Is it us or is it the jackal? So it's a tricky question. I don't know, but they are considered pests in farming communities because they do hunt livestock, smaller livestock. But then I must be honest, the thing is, with farmers, especially in South Africa, stories have been passed on from generation to generation that are not necessarily true, and farmers then think all the small creatures tend to be vermin or pests. Like, for example, a lot of farmers believed in certain areas that the bat-eared foxes are pests and vermin, and they kill the livestock. Bat-eared foxes feed on insects, so they don't feed on meat at all. They won't hunt anything like that. They're tiny creatures. But the farmers, because it's been told by generation to generation, they will hunt them anyway. So we've tried over the years, obviously conservation efforts and just trying to educate people in areas to let them know that those animals are not a threat. Problem is, people will put up traps to try and catch jackals, for example, but they'll probably catch a number of other species of animals too. So it's a tricky situation. If the livestock is your income, you want to protect them, but you also want to protect the wildlife at the same time. But I think the efforts with conservation over the years, it's improved somewhat. So most of those animals are a bit better protected. Soraya, all the way from New Jersey. Well, good evening to you, Soraya. I suppose it's evening where you are. So, yes, the jackal will indeed hunt small rodents. Probably not necessarily squirrels. I think a squirrel would be a bit too quick for a jackal. But scrub hares at night, and definitely... Oh, hang on, quickly, let's go see what Brent's got with that leopard.
Look at that. We've caught up with my favorite little female leopard, Xongile. Look at that tail curve. She's been spotted, but she is on the hunt for terrapins and monitor lizards. As you can see, she looks quite a bit better fed than the last time we spotted her. So apparently she's been snacking on catfish to the south of us in a little pool in the Mawati River. But obviously she's eaten all the catfish, so now she needs to find a new meal. Oh, you're so pretty, little Xongile. I want you to catch the biggest, fattest monitor lizard in the whole of Africa. Remember, hashtag Safari Live if you have any questions about this incredible creature. So she's moving around the edge of the water. There we go, listen to the high eyes. Go away, leopard! Futzak! Ah, you can see her tail's up. Oh, she's so gorgeous. You can see all the dew in the grass, making it a very pretty morning, and the sun is almost above the horizon, so I think we're going to have some spectacular views of this absolutely gorgeous female leopard. We're sitting on the dam wall at the moment. I just want to see which way she goes, whether she's going to go up towards the lodge or if she's going to come towards quarantine. So we're hedging our bets before we decide to move. I think she might come to the western side. Oh, so beautiful this morning. Michael's wondering if she purposely left her sauna. It's difficult to say, Michael. He might be a bit of a greedy gut, so she might have had some of her catfish stolen from her, but I'm not 100% sure. I would say she's probably going to be more successful if she goes out on her own, and when you don't have to share, everything's better. Okay, now we know where she's going, so we need to move. That's why we waited for so long on the dam so far away from her. It was to find out which way she was going to go. Okay. Are we ready for some off-roading? Let's jump off the cliff. Fergus, hold on. Oh, we'll survive. Oh, there's a big hole. So, driving these off-road vehicles, you get a nice workout every day. Okay, let's try see if we can catch up with her. What a wonderful way to start. Big hole. A Monday morning. Okay, so while I catch up with Xongile, let's go across to Byron, who can't find the animals, so he has to look at the sunrise.
Yeah, Brent, we're starting off slowly this morning. We're going to save the good stuff for later. But this is still brilliant. This beautiful sunrise. We've got some dead branches. So we're trying the artistic look this morning. That's exactly these beautiful silhouettes and a great sunrise, as I mentioned earlier. Clear skies. And that's possibly why it is so cold this morning too. Well, it's not that cold. I think just for us it's cold. 16 degrees or in the mid-60s Fahrenheit. It's cold for us on safari. We're not used to it, but it will get colder than this later in the year. Another month or so, 2 months. But beautiful, beautiful open skies. The birds are calling. I can hear Cape turtle doves in the distance. The franklin's calling. I can hear a currach and button quail. That deep booming sound. Ooh. A strange sound for a little bird. But lovely. Very, very nice little shot. Now, what were we speaking about earlier? Oh yes, the jackal and what they eat. So the jackal do indeed hunt little rodents, scrub hares perhaps. It's unlikely that they'd catch squirrels, but yeah, little rodents, jackals will definitely hunt those and feed on them. Little field mice and rodents that we get around here. Struggling with my... Right, Dave, we're going to have to find something big. Brent's got a leopard, so we'll have to find something. Well, Sophie, that's an interesting question. You want to know which animal can withstand the coldest and the warmest temperature. Well, do you mean in Africa alone or around the world? Now, around the world, I suppose animals that can withstand the coldest temperature, probably the polar bears. And animals that can withstand the warmest temperature, animals that we find in the deserts, in the Kalahari Desert, for example. Those temperatures heading, 50 degrees Celsius, so that's over 115, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So animals that withstand those temperatures, there's certain insects. But here, for example, animals that, I suppose all the animals adjust very easily to the season. So it all depends if it's hot or cold. It doesn't really bother them. Some of them do get winter coats. Their coats become a bit thicker to keep them warm for winter. So Sophie, it's difficult to say. It all depends on the specific area. There are some antelope species known as the gemsbok or the oryx, beautiful oryx that we get up in Namibia and in the Kalahari. They withstand those incredible hot conditions, the heat. The springbuck, another type of antelope, we don't get them here at all. They're suited for those really hot and really cold conditions that the desert brings. So those would be, I suppose, the best examples of an animal that is able to withstand the extreme of the heat and the cold, the variation in one specific area. I think let's head back to Brent and see what Xongile is up to.
Well, the sun is about to rise. Get your fingers ready for some of the most beautiful screenshots. I think today, with the dew in the grass, the sun rising, and of course one of the most beautiful female leopards in Africa, it's going to be lots of fun. So she just disappeared down here. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's moved quickly. Okay, I'm going to just shoot ahead of her, but let's get in a better position. Ooh, the sun's coming, the light's coming. I hope you're as excited as I am, because I think this is going to be absolutely exquisite. And as I said a bit earlier, this is one of my last drives on Djuma for the next little while. So I'd actually planned to sort of go down a memory lane trip, well, what's better than spending time with a leopard instead of reminiscing about the good old days, etc. So, but actually, while we're here, we're at the dam, and we've had some fantastic leopard sightings. And let's see who can remember. And what were your best leopard sightings with me in front of WildEarthTV camp outside of this morning? Hashtag Safari Live. I can't see where she's gone. James says she's coming straight toward. Oh, there she is. You see her, Ferg? There. No, a little bit to the right. Oh, there we go. We're going to level. You can hear the monkey's alarm calling at her. She's there. So, what are your favourite sightings you've had at the WildEarthTV dam? Oh, actually, we won't keep it just to leopards, but what are your favourite sightings that you've had with me, apart from a disappearing leopard, at the WildEarthTV dam? Now, we can hear that. Oh, look, here she comes. Hello, my pretty. Oh, I do adore her a lot. Oh, she's looks like she might have spotted a terrapin or a lizard. There's definite focus in that face. And it is so pretty. Oh, gorgeous girl. Hi, Ricky. Ricky's wondering whether there are crocodiles in this water. Well, Ricky, from time to time, in this part of the Sabi Sands, the crocodiles move quite a lot, but there can always be crocodiles in the water, and you treat every bit of water like there's a crocodile in it, and that's the only way you don't get bitten. I know what she spotted. There's a terrapin moving in the water. I can just see the movement. See the ripples there, Ferg? You see the ripples there? There's a terrapin, or it's just popped under the water. So she's after terrapins and water monitors. That's what she's been surviving off for the last while. So I think that's a bit too deep for her to pounce in. She'll be hoping that she finds one that's a bit shallower. Well, she's coming back towards us now. Oh, okay. I can almost do a countdown to the sunlight hitting her. It's going to happen in about 30 seconds. That glorious basking morning light is going to strike one of the most exquisite creatures in Africa, the beautiful and aptly named Xongile. Sorry, I was taking a picture of James, Rexon's tracker, because he's got a very funny look on his face. Good morning, Wild Bill. Wild Bill is wondering if the other animals understand the leopard's tail signals. So when leopards and lions, to a degree, when they are spotted by potential prey, they normally lift up their tail and sort of an admission of guilt. You've caught me, okay, I won't try eat you. And animals definitely understand that. So when a leopard does that, they behave quite differently around the leopard to it would if it was still stalking, even though being spotted. Oh, look at her. There's that light. Xongile, you're sitting in our shadow. You're supposed to be in the glorious morning light. Oh, there we go. So as I said, she's looking a bit better fed than the last time I saw her. So maybe she's eaten 12 terrapins through the night, and 2 monitor lizards, and 8 grasshoppers. Now, of course, I'm only joking, but she has been surviving off catfish, terrapins, monitor lizards, grasshoppers, birds' eggs, anything small. Let me just see where she's going. Oh, yes. Okay, she's moved off from behind us. I'm going to just put Ferg in the right spot. Hi, Erin. Erin is wondering, what is a terrapin? And Erin, a terrapin is a turtle, what you would call a turtle. We call them terrapins. So a small aquatic coelion, or coelion, depending on how you pronounce it. So a turtle. So for us, tortoises are non-aquatic and terrapins are aquatic. So basically a little turtle, and these water holes in this part of Africa are filled with them. And they are ferocious little carnivores in their own right, hunting all sorts of aquatic insects and small fish and the like. But at the moment, they are being hunted by the beautiful Xongile. Now you can see how well a leopard's camouflage works as she goes into the longer grass, and her whole outline breaks up and she just disappears. Disappeared so much, we have to move again. A very good morning to you, Anna. Anna is wondering how long till Xongile can catch a duck or a steenbok. Anna, I think she's probably perfectly capable, size-wise, in terms of catching it. It's probably experience that's letting her down. Although, I did hear that she caught a baby impala inside the Chitwa camp. I think it's obviously been stolen, or she's lost it to... Ooh, she spotted a water monitor, but the water monitor was quick for a cold morning. Now, she just narrowly missed a massive water monitor the last time we were following her here. Look at that, isn't she wonderful? What's that song? Isn't she lovely? Who sang that? I can't remember. Hi, Mercedes. Mercedes has a favorite sighting, and she says it's the first time that we found Hosana and Xongile as newborn cubs. Well, depending on what happens this morning, Mercedes, I think I might go for a visit to the old den site. I might even climb into the cave and see what's happening there. We haven't been there in quite some time. Poor Xongile, that monitor lizard was a bit too quick for you this morning. She looks quite disgruntled with life at the moment. sort of an oh my goodness face. Oh my goodness, everything keeps getting away from me. Now you can see the light starting to hit her. It is beautiful. Sherry is wondering, do I think Xongile is going to take over this territory? She will definitely attempt to take over the territory as long as she doesn't get pressure from other females. So only time will tell, Sherry, whether she's going to inherit her mother's territory or whether Tundi and Shadow and maybe an unknown female from the north push in. I really hope she does. And wouldn't it be wonderful for Xongile to become the new queen of Djuma. Alright, we're going to keep up with her. She's on the move again. It's definitely the best way to start Monday morning. Yes, Fergus agrees. We could be sitting in Johannesburg or Nairobi traffic. I'd much rather be sitting with a leopard. There, thank you very much. Everyone's saying, "Isn't she lovely?" It was a song by Stevie Wonder.
You drive like Stevie Wonder.
Oh, there we go. Ferg says I drive like Stevie Wonder. Ferg, you have no idea yet. Unless you can tell me the scientific name of every thorn tree we go past, you'll meet them individually. Then she stopped again. So sometimes if you look carefully on that dead tree that she's under, there's a monitor lizard or two that like to sleep on it. But I think it's too cold at the moment, so they're still not out basking yet. But I think this is a very good plan for her to survive and just keep hitting the water holes, keep eating the terrapins and the monitor lizards. Oh, she's checking the tree. I said, oh no, she's looking at a hardy-dar who's looking directly down at her. Oh, there we go. There's the hardy-dar that she's watching. There's two of them, in fact. A hardy-dar ibis. Now, oh, nearly, Xongile, you nearly got bomb dropped upon. That's what the hardy-dar thinks of you. Missed her by about 1.5 meters, so it wasn't that close. Now, the last time we were following Xongile in this very spot, Senzo was on camera and he got to film his first live kill ever. So I think Fergus is hoping that Xongile is going to provide again today.
Yeah, very envious.
I think she's a bit early. It's a bit early for the monitor lizards and the terrapins. It's a bit early, as I say. They're going to become more active as it gets warmer. Both the terrapins and the monitor lizards, being reptiles, they're going to like basking in the sun. So I think she should definitely hang around the waterhole, because the longer we go into the day, the more chances she's going to have of being able to catch something. Because I can actually, we're starting to see the terrapins wake up. And quite a few of them starting to move as the sun is hitting the water. And she's staring at one I can see at the moment. If I just go off to the left there, right in that brilliant sort of golden patch of water, there's a terrapin a little bit to the right a bit. Keep coming. You can see the ripples there. There he is. See there, we can see his head. So a little bit more to the right. And center frame. There we go. You can see the terrapin. But unfortunately for Xongile, the terrapin is moving. Oh, it went under the water. Oh, there he is. But he's moving away from the shallow shore. And he's quite safe where he is at the moment. Now, we're going to wait here with the terrapins, or turtles if you like, and the most exquisite young Xongile. But it sounds like Byron has found a nice group of grazers. Let's go have a look.
We have indeed, Brent, and it's a beautiful scene. This just with the sun backlighting this group of zebra. There's also some impala around there. Always wonderful to see zebra. I just enjoy finding different species together. I think it's always nice to see when you've got impala, zebra, wildebeest, all in the same area. You might get kudu moving around too. I'm going to see, why don't I see if I can move a little bit closer, get a better view. There goes a young foal. And this beautiful light, this golden liming through now, and all these animals are happily grazing. Now the other night is because there's moisture around, and there's a lot of moisture on the grass. These animals are getting a lot of water basically while they are feeding, which is good for them. Wow, there's a number of zebra around here. Just off to our left here too, Dave. There are 3 of them right here. There we go, that's a young oxpecker. See about eight zebra around here. Nice group. A nice sized dazzle of zebra. I'm going to try and move a little bit forward just so we can get the brightness of the sun out of our shot. And they're all moving out to the left, so we should have a lovely view of them from here. Oh, wonderful. This looks like the big stallion, very close to us. This one. Ladybugs and daisies, you said. I wonder if this is the new McCurdy Hurdy. I wonder, I don't know. It's always, perhaps, maybe it's one that's moved through before that we've seen in the past. I know with the zebra, the males do have harems, so a single big stallion like this one, he will look after this herd and try and keep all these females to himself. And the stallions can get very aggressive with one another, and they do fight for their territory and fight for the dominance. And it's amazing to see zebra fighting. They bite and they kick, and very aggressive animals when they want to be. You can imagine a kick by a zebra wouldn't be very pleasant, would it? I love the way the light, as it shines on them, you get that beautiful golden color in the mane of the zebra, especially that top part, that brownish coloration. plenty of oxpeckers on them, picking off ticks. Kirk, you asked what the gestation period is of the zebra. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Kirk, sometimes I forget. We talk about so many different gestation periods. I do get confused and will stumble now and then. I think it's about 13 or 14 months. Kirk, let me just double check for you, but I think it's about that. See if I can find the zebra quickly in my book. Oh, the zebra. There we go. I think it's about that. Let's just see. 360 days after. Well, they give days. So what is that? Yeah, just under a year. Just under a year. That's interesting. Yeah. So 12 months. So not quite 13. 12 months. I was a month off. I apologize, Kirk. Well, there we go. So it's about a year. And I think that's similar for horses. I think horses also 12 to 13 months. If I'm not mistaken, those of you who either breed with horses or have horses back home, I'm sure it's about the same. Consulting detective, you say you love these juvenile oxpeckers, these little oxpeckers sitting in. They're very chirpy this morning. If you might be able to, hear them. But yeah, these nice view of the adult to the right and the juvenile to the left. Well spotted, Dave. The juveniles are completely dark. They don't have that red beak like the adults. That was a nice frame there of the two, the adult on the right and the young one or the sub-adults on the left. Might still be able to see them as it moves. As that zebra moves, we should get another view. But there are a few little juveniles on these zebra at the moment. This is a very peaceful scene. It's lovely. Starting to warm up slightly. Well, I think it's just because we parked in the sun. So it's providing a bit of warmth for us now, which is really nice. And I've always said it's this time of year when you've got these very cool mornings, and then as the sun starts to rise, warms everything up, and it becomes very, very warm and cozy and relaxing. Often a few people doze off on the back of the vehicle, and especially in a peaceful sighting like this. I think it was Deborah that asked what age do the zebra get to, more or less. So zebra, it's around 20. Melissa, sorry, I beg your pardon, Melissa, you asked, I think it's about 15, no, I lied, about 20-25 years for zebra. Somewhere around there. Again, I always say it depends on if the predators are around and if the lions catch them. But yeah, somewhere around there. Chris Now, you've asked how many kinds of zebra exist. Well, Chris, so in southern Africa we've got 3 species. We have the Birchall zebra, or the plain zebra, which is this species. This is the species that we get in this part of South Africa, this northeastern part of South Africa, and is probably the most widespread, all the way up into Botswana and that too. So the Birchall zebra, or plains zebra. Then we have the Cape Mountain zebra, which is only found in a certain part of South Africa, kind of down in the Eastern Cape. There's a specific national park called the Cape Mountain Zebra National Park down there. They're slightly different looking. Stripes are a lot thinner, a lot closer together, and also they've got white bellies. Now let me just find a picture for you quickly. I think I've got a picture of the Cape Mountain zebra. And then there's another species known as the Hartmann's mountain zebra. Now that is found in the northwestern part of South Africa, up towards the Kalahari. You get them up there. So those are the 3 species that we get down in southern Africa. But then up in East Africa you get the Grevy's zebra. So let me just show you quickly. This is the Hartmann's zebra over here, and that's a Cape Mountain zebra. They look quite similar, but slightly different distribution. So there, and then you can see the plain zebra just below it, with the stripes going all the way down the belly, or around the belly. So then East Africa you have Grevy's zebra. I'm trying to think if there's another one up there. I don't know. Brent might know if there are others. I mean, they're all going up to East Africa soon, to the Mara, but I think it's just the Grevy's is the other different one that they get up there. I don't know of any other species of zebra off the top of my head that I can think of. So there are 4 different species that we get in Africa that I can think of. We'll see. Maybe Brent knows of 1 or 2 others that he's possibly seen or come across. Right? You say, if we shave a zebra, are they still striped? Well, Ryan, apparently a zebra's skin is actually black. So I don't think they're still striped. They'll just be completely black, and that's. Again, I've never shaved a zebra, so I'm not sure. But apparently their skin is black in color. Alright, I think these zebras are starting to move off slowly. I think we'll do the same and see what else we can find. I wonder how Brent is doing. Okay, so Brent is still with Xongile. Let's go and have a look at that beautiful leopard.
Well, from stripes to spots, and you can see how well spots work as camouflage, because she is being very patient next to the waterhole at the moment, and there are some terrapins or turtles moving closer to her, so she's playing the right game. Hopefully the hardy ibis that is staring down at her doesn't give it the game away. Patience, patience, my little Xongilolo. They will come if you wait. So there's quite a lot of terrapin movement in the water at the moment, and slowly, slowly, they are getting closer to where she is. Well, Leanne is wondering, how does Xongile's size compare to Karula at the same age? Well, Well, unfortunately, yeah, and I never got to see Karula when she was this age, but if we had to compare her size to Karula's adult size, she's probably 2/3 of the size Karula was at the moment, but I think she will probably be very similar in size to Karula. Karula wasn't the biggest leopard, female leopard around, but of course she was an incredibly successful mother and huntress. Let me not say was, let me say is. Hopefully she's still around and makes a surprise appearance before I leave to Kenya. Now, the one thing is you never know what's going to happen out here. It is a completely wild system. And the moment you get too definite in your opinions, the moment Mother Nature gives you a good kick in the teeth, to just teach you that you can never learn or know too much about what's happening out here. Ooh, there's a terrapin getting closer, slowly. Jeffrey's wondering, could the cubs pick up Karula's scent and try to follow them? Jeffrey, I think they've probably tried that, but she's not been seen so long. I don't think her scent is still, we've had rain, so I don't think her scent is still lingering. So there's a terrapin getting closer and closer. If we go a little bit to the left there, you can just see the ripples in the water behind that little senna bush, a little bit more to the left. A little bit more. There we go. See, bottom left of frame. It's getting slowly. Oh, there we go. Come on, swim towards our little princess. Sacrifice yourself for little Xongile terrapin. Well, she's definitely playing the right game, being patient. Terrapin's now about 3.5-4 meters from her, but it is slowly heading, well, in the right direction if you're a leopard, in the wrong direction if you're a terrapin. There's quite a few of them moving around. Has she gone to sleep there? Xongile, I hope your eyes are open. The meal is coming towards you. You can't be catnapping right now. No, her eyes are open. She is focused. Oh, she's so beautiful. Snooper says, do terrapins stand a chance from a terrapin attack? Could they hide in their shell and survive? Now, Snooper, it all depends on the size of the terrapin. So big terrapins, she wouldn't be able to crack their shells open. So they do stand a chance, but the smaller ones, I'm afraid, are just... Well, and also they've got the advantage of being able to dive under the water to get away from her. So if she catches them... Copy, Rex. So Rexon's just going to fetch the guests that were sleeping in. Missing a morning. Who would sleep in on safari? I mean, honestly. So he's going to fetch them and bring them back. Unfortunately for little Xongile, that terrapin moved away from her again. So it is a patience game. Melissa, hi, welcome on this morning safari. Melissa would like to know if I've ever had a scary experience with a leopard. Indeed I have, Melissa. I've actually had a few. There used to be a male leopard in the southern Sabi Sands called Shorty, or the short-tailed male. Or in certain places he was called the bicycle crossing male. Now this was probably about 2005, somewhere around there. And I was tracking him with Mr. Matabula, my tracker. And we came across his tracks and were following them on the edge of a little river very similar to the Mawati. And all of a sudden the guarri bushes around us exploded, and he charged us about 5 times in the space of about 60 seconds. And when a leopard charges you, it sounds like a jet warming up. It's as he comes flying at you. And during that charge he stopped probably the closest he got to us about 1 meter. And we got covered in dust and spit, and then he just walked off like nothing happened. He was quite a strange leopard, old Shorty. But yeah, that was quite a scary experience. Another scary experience was also with a different male leopard at Singita, and right in the south of the property there was a male leopard we didn't see very often, and he was called the kinky tail male, and he had a big kink in his tail. And he is probably the only leopard I know that used to charge vehicles regularly. So you would just be driving down the road, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden you would just hear this jet engine coming out of the bush from next to you. You didn't even know he was there, but he would just charge the vehicle and then run away, and you wouldn't see him again for 3 months. I think those were always quite scary. And also one of my most favorite, but also at the time very scary leopard sightings on foot was in the Sand River with before he moved on to the next plane, one of my most favorite male leopards of all time. His name was the Camp Pan male, and he was a bus. He was a beast. He was bigger than Tingana, maybe a little bit smaller than Anderson, but he was an absolutely massive male leopard. And I'd been lucky enough to follow him since he was a cub as well, and he was mating with a female leopard. Who was he mating with? He was mating with Shidulu female. FM Andrew, make your way. Sorry about that. And Andrew wants to chat. Yeah, she's directly under that dead knobthorn. So have a look. If the view's good from the dam, or you're welcome to come join me down here. Sorry about that. So he was mating with a female leopard, who was actually my favorite female leopard at the time down there, a female by the name of Shidulu, which means termite mound. And Mr. Matabula, my tracker, and myself were following their tracks in the Sand River. And with mating leopards, often they move around a lot in the same place. And off we went, and I was looking at a set of tracks, and Simon and I decided, no, these aren't the most fresh. And I whistled to Simon, who was probably about 15 meters away from me. I went, "Hey, Si, these are the freshest tracks." And I was kneeling down in the sand, looking at the footprints of the male and female leopard. And Simon just said to me, "Four." His brother, "Don't move." And as he said that, I sort of slowly stood up, and there's big sandbanks that are covered in Phragmites reeds in the river, and less than a meter from me and eye level with me, I was looking into the golden eyes of the Camp Pan male, which was at the time completely scary, but also absolutely exhilarating. And yes, that is the closest I've ever been to a male leopard on foot, about 60 centimeters, and at eye level as well. So I looked at him, and then you never want to stare at a leopard, because then it means he knows that you've spotted him, and because leopards work off camouflage. So I looked at him. I probably held his stare for less than a split second before looking at my feet, and very, very sort of sheepishly trying to move backwards slowly. So I've had some absolutely amazing times with leopards in the Sabi Sands. we're going to keep playing the patience game with our lovely little Xongile. While we do that, let us go see what Mr. Sorrel is up to.
Well, I think that patience game's going to work out for you, Brenton. It sounds like you're having a wonderful sighting with that young leopard already. We're driving around, Dave and I are driving around looking to see what else we can find. No luck just yet, but it's a beautiful morning. And I think also with it still being quite cool, maybe we're not getting as much movement from the animals just yet, but it is starting to warm up, so maybe we'll see some animals heading down to water. I might head up towards Buffelshoek Dam, have a look around there. No sign of any lions yet. As I said, we heard lions last night, not far from the camp. It sounded like at one stage there was a lion at Vuyatela Dam, but I'm not sure if it was. It sort of sounded like. Seen any sign of elephant yet either. It's so funny, a week ago there were elephants everywhere. We were seeing plenty of elephant, and now the last few days not nearly as many, but that's the way it goes. Animals just move around and they are always here. Just need to find them. Oh, there's some kudu. Here we go. Young kudu and a female. There's a young male and a female behind him. You can see those horns, still very small, not nearly long, and those typical corkscrew shape, those curled horns that the kudu get. See, it looks like it's just the two of them. There's possibly more that we can't see. Because kudu, especially when there are youngsters around like this, young kudu, you'll have a few females and a few youngsters. Oh, that female disappeared. Was she moving through there? There she is, yeah. Well camouflaged. Ryan, now, no, I haven't seen an albino animal on safari before, and I'm just trying to think. I've seen pale morphs of birds, certain bird species. Hang on a second, there's just a bit of some spider webs around here.
Thank you.
Much better. So Ryan, I've seen pale forms of birds, and fairly often. It's more common within birds than it is in animals. I've never seen an albino animal, now that I think about it. However, one of the more recessive genes which causes albinism in some animals is within the lions. We have the white lions, and very well-known lions, the white lions of the Timbavati. That's where that recessive gene has been for many, many years. And there are still, every now and then you'll get some white lions born, much, much lighter. You can see that they are completely light, not a completely white color, but when they're young they are whitish, and they go a very, very light yellow, but it leans towards white. I've never seen those lions, unfortunately, but a lot of my friends and family that have been into that area many times, they've seen those lions before. I just haven't been around at the right time to see them, but there are white lions up in that area. So that would be the best example I can give you of light coloured animals. Just trying to think. I haven't seen any. I've heard of the odd incident where some animals have been very light and appear to be albino, but I haven't seen it myself. You can hear some birds calling in the distance. Black-headed orioles, the Cape turtle doves, a few birds calling in the distance. Now, some of you might be wondering where the bushwalk is. Again, Tristan was just tired. He didn't want to walk today, so we gave him the day off. No, I am joking. Unfortunately, our tick bite fever patient is still down and under the weather. Hopefully he'll be better by later today. The problem with tick bite fever is you need to rest. It's not pleasant. You're very, very tired. You are in a bit of pain. Your joints, your glands get very sore, headaches. So we're just trying to give him some rest, Senzo. He should be okay soon, but he needs to rest. So that's what we've just done. Unfortunately, no bushwalk for the moment. It's just the 2 days, so it's not too bad. Bushwalk will be up and running soon again. It's fairly quiet this side this morning. See, and it happens like that. Yesterday there was action from start to finish. James and I had a wonderful drive. James had Shadow with her young cub, who I think he wanted to name Barbara. Don't worry, that won't happen. I will make sure that does not happen. And then we had the lions, we had the mating lions, we had that incredible sighting at the hyena den, all that interaction with the hyena and the calling, the vocalizing. So it was amazing as to how much was going on yesterday afternoon. And then this morning a little bit quieter, but it happens like that. It does happen like that. Just trying to see, I thought I saw some tracks. No. There's some old elephant tracks down there. You can't really see them, actually, not even worth showing. Need to find some fresh tracks. I must be honest, it's nice driving without the doors. They've taken the doors off the vehicles. It's a bit easier for us, especially when we are trying to track. Just leaning out, having a look along the road. And if we need to jump in and out of the vehicle, I prefer guiding without a door. It just makes it a lot easier. Okay, I'm going to head towards Buffelshoek Dam. Let's head back to Brent to find out how his leopard sighting is going.
Well, we've unfortunately had to leave little Xongile for now. We are giving guys the opportunity to go through there. We will be back. Don't you worry. I'll definitely be back with little Xongile before the end of the morning safari. So I thought while everyone else is enjoying Xongile, what I'm going to do is go see if I can find Hosana. Tristan saw him last night when he went to go visit some friends on Little Gari, and he was apparently very close to the Little Gari camp, which is about 1.5 km directly south of Twin Dams. So who knows, maybe he wandered up to the north. I did say we were going to be speaking Swahili Kidogo this morning, so just practicing before I go there. There's some very important things to remember, and I used to be able to speak Swahili quite well, but that was many moons ago. So it's amazing that how much you forget in a handbook and my little notebook that I had from when I lived up there. So it's actually been a lot of fun relearning. So I can tell you that Kushoto is left, Gulia is right, and we at the moment are from Moja Kamoja, which is straight ahead, and if you want to go backwards, it's Rudi Nyuma. So Kushoto, Gulia, Moja Kamoja, Rudi Nyuma. Now I actually had a spanner when I lived in Tanzania that was named Rudi Nyuma, which means, or can also mean return, not only go but return, and it was a size 13 spanner, and the most difficult to keep in East Africa because it is the spanner that fits the standard bicycle. So your spanner number 13 is often the only one missing from your toolbox. So I actually engraved the word Rudin into my number 13 spanner. Well, number 13 and number 17. Those are the two the sizes that are used on bicycles, and both of them I actually used an engraver to put Rudinuma in both of those spanners. Sorry, I just need to be on the radio. Morning, yours. Xongile at WildEarthTV Dam, 3 stations there, and that's it. Oh, and Torchwood Pride, same position as last night. Get hold of Rexon. Okay, so as I said, there's Elvis. Elvis is also on his way to see the exquisitely beautiful young Xongile leopard. Ah, wo geht? Any updates from the east? In Little Gari.
Yeah, from Jersey Bring Pen heading west.
Ankom. Enjoy, guys. Okay, let's carry on. So there we go. Tandi is in Little Gari heading west. Now that's probably one of the reasons little Xongile is all the way up here, because Tandi is heading straight towards where she was for the last couple of days, and I think it is a very, very good move on Xongile's part to stay very far away from her aunt. Her aunt might not be quite as friendly as your aunties might be at home. So, oh yes, we're talking about the returning spanner, and even though I did engrave return on my number 13 and 17 spanner, I had to do it more than once. So I lost, I think, about 6 number 17 spanners and about 4 number 13 spanners. It's amazing. You could always find a 14, a 15, a 19, a 22, an 8, a 7, but 13 and 17. To the north of us, they can hear lions roaring inside. It sounds like the Manuleti boundary somewhere. I wonder if that's the Nkaumas. Now we're arriving at Twin Dams, and I'm hoping young Hosana might be around. Sorry, I didn't quite hear that, but I think it was, I didn't hear who was asking the question, but it was, do you know what Shumba means in Swahili? Javu. Shumba, as far as I know, is not actually a Swahili word, or it could be, but the Shumba I know is actually a Shona word from Zimbabwe, which means lion. I shall have a look if I have Shumba in my book. Now, of course, Swahili is a fascinating language. It's spoken. There we go. Where's the S in my vocab? No, not W. S, there we go. Well, let's see. Do we have Shumba? Maybe at the end. Oh no, that's English to Swahili. I want Swahili to English. Silly book. So Shumba is lion in Shona. I do know that. But lion, of course, in Swahili is Simba. And I'm going to give you a little Swahili sentence to think about. There's no hippo today, it seems like. But Nyapenda Chui. What was it? No, now I've got confused. Yeah, no, Nyapenda Chui. Who knows what I'm saying? Nyapenda Chui. Who knows what I'm saying in Swahili? If you know the answer, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. Nyapenda Chui. What am I saying in Swahili? Okay, so no sign of a hippopotamus or of Hosana. So I think we'll go check up towards Shibam Road and those lovely little mud wallows around there that are so loved by our young Hosana. Now, I was trying to find out if there was a Shumba. Shumba. I can't remember Shumba from my time in East Africa. As I say, I'm incredibly rusty, so I might have just forgotten Shumba. But yeah, when I say here Shumba, it's lion in Shona. Okay, so just having a quick squiz here. There are no tracks of the burley.
Right now we're almost at Buffelshoek Dam. We'll see what we can find. I'm scanning the trees for any potential birds. Let's see if there's anything around Buffelshoek Dam. I see some movement in the water. I wonder if there isn't a hippo in here, perhaps. Yeah. Oh, two hippo. Hold on, I'm going to stop on the dam wall for us. They weren't here before. But after that bit of rain we had the other day, I haven't been here since then. Look at that. Ah, lovely view. Bit of glare off the water, but you should see those two hippo clearly. Three hippo. Wow. Okay. Wonder if there's not another one, perhaps. Oh, that's great. I must admit, Buffelshoek Dam is looking far better, full of water. Hopefully it holds its water well during the dry season. Ah, look at that. That's lovely. And so many hippo. Just out of nowhere. Now, what happened, obviously, or what happens in these situations is the hippo, when they're moving around, feeding at night, they may move off and find other dams that they'll use, especially if there's a nice dam like here that isn't being used a lot. So fresh water and enough space for them. That's a wonderful surprise. Love seeing those little sprays. Cat, we do not have alligators in Africa, not at all, but we do have the Nile crocodile. Now, we've got plenty of crocodiles all over Africa, and especially we do have down in the rivers, and we have got some in the bigger dams. We don't really have in these dams, although I still wouldn't just wander into a dam like this and try to swim around, because the crocodiles do move around a bit and they will move into different water holes and dams. But predominantly in the rivers there are lots of crocodiles, and just south of us in the Sand River there are plenty of crocodiles. But no, we do not have alligators in Africa. Now, some of you might be thinking what the difference is between crocodile and alligators. So, just I think the main difference between crocodiles and alligators, the alligators, if I'm not mistaken, only the top jaw overlaps with the bottom jaw, whereas with crocodiles, both jaws, the teeth overlap, bottom and top, and also the crocodile is able to move the bottom and the top jaw when opening its mouth. And the alligator, I think, can only open the top part of its jaw. The bottom one stays quite fixed. I think those are the main differences between alligators and crocodiles. Now, Alicia, you asked what animals hunt the hippo. Well, the only predator large enough to hunt hippo would be lions. And it doesn't happen often because the hippo just runs straight back to the water for safety. But I have seen lions feeding on younger hippo, not necessarily big adult hippo, though that would be a bit difficult for them to hunt, or a little bit harder. But lions do hunt hippo if they come across them feeding at night out in the open, and if they're able to separate them from other hippo around, because hippo, I mean, they've got to be careful. The lions have to be careful. The hippo have those huge jaws with those really, really sharp teeth. And they're very powerful animals. So it's not something that the lions would hunt very easily, but they do indeed go for hippo. It's starting to warm up really nicely now. It's amazing when we stop. Don't know that cool breeze. Alicia, there are changes in animal behavior now moving into our winter. So our winter months, there is a bit of change. So, for example, with the hippo will change their behavior slightly. What they'll do is they'll come out and they'll bask on the banks of these water holes during the winter to warm up. No, because obviously the water temperature does drop quite a bit, so they do come out and they'll bask on the banks, lie on the side. The crocodiles do, especially the crocodiles being reptiles, they need to use the sun to warm up. So in winter you'll definitely see these animals out on the banks a lot more. Predators might be active a little bit longer, for longer periods of time in the morning and maybe get active earlier in the afternoon because the temperature is cooler and at night it gets much colder. So you do see slight changes. So it may just be a bit more activity from predators, these types of animals that live in the water basking on the banks. The snakes, obviously, most of them go into hibernation, so you don't see as many snakes around. So there are slight changes, but there's no migration or anything down in southern Africa, or in Africa in general for temperature reasons. It's mainly just because of food and water up in East Africa. You get those migrations, but not because of temperatures. So, Megan, you might be wondering, I think you're probably trying to ask how we can tell the difference between a male and female hippo when they're in the water. So, Megan, it's actually quite difficult. It's difficult to see because obviously you can't see what's under the water. But Megan, the best way, generally the big males, their heads are much bigger, much larger. They've got the bumps on top of or just to the back of the nostrils. You might notice some prominent bumps there, and those are the teeth, those big tusks that basically fit in to the top jaw when they close their mouths. So you might see those bumps a little bit more clearly on the males, but it is difficult. It's not easy to tell the difference between male and female in the water, especially younger males. Many, I'm not sure if hippos have twins. I've never seen it. Now, I mean, you could potentially have an incident or something like that happening in a zoo, perhaps. I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening in a zoo somewhere. I've never seen hippo give birth to twins. I've only seen it one calf at a time. So if anybody else has heard or seen a hippo give birth to twins, but I don't think so. It's usually just one calf. So I know that's an interesting Twitter handle. You asked how fast a hippo can run on land. I know the answer to that. So a hippo can probably reach speed of about 30 to 35 kilometers an hour. Now that's rather fast. Now 30 kilometers an hour is probably, what is that, about 17, 18 miles an hour? Somewhere around there, maybe just a bit more, 20 miles an hour. Rather fast. So it is 18, yeah, about 18 miles an hour. Rather quick. Liz from Wisconsin, the hippo, no, they don't make that bellowing, honking, strange sound only when they're angry. They'll do it just to communicate with each other. It's not only a sign of aggression, not at all. That how's that? Good hippo call. Pretty good, Dave. Yeah. But it's not only if they're aggressive. Not at all. They will use it to communicate with one another. Now, from these rather large aquatic animals, the hippo, let's head to Brent, who's got something small to show you.
Yes, very much smaller than a hippopotamus is one of my favorite little creatures in the bush, the dwarf mongoose. And they are all enjoying the morning sunshine. So they've come out of their den and they're basking at the moment. Oh, just more. Every time we look, there's another one coming out of the bush. And they're just basking. They haven't really started feeding yet. Oh, there's a big game going on down there. Oh, little one's playing. They give me so much joy. Look at it. Now, there's not much to be digging for in the main road. Now, the one reason dwarf mongoose will move along the main road, and that is because, of course, of roadkill. So bugs and things that they get run over or accidentally hit. So there's often quite a lot of food out on the main roads. Now, of course, they've got one of the best Xongile names, and that is Matsikitsoch. Hello, little Matsikitsoch. Now, of course, quite often, short people get nicknamed Matsikitsoch out here, and the shortest and youngest member of the Safari Live team, I have actually nicknamed Matsikitsoch, and that is, of course, little Megs. And I know she's listening. So, Matsikitsoch, it's your spirit animal. Oh. Now, see that? Look that sub. The one that's closest to us was actually being subordinate to the other one. Now, even though they are mongoose and in no way related, excuse me, to the African wild dog, they have a very similar social structure to the wild dog. So there is an alpha pair that do all the breeding, and the rest of the little mongoose, they help. Oh, one of them alarm called, and you saw how they're all scattered. There's only a couple of sentries left now, and when you hear a mongoose alarm call, I always generally look to the sky, and I think it might have been a false alarm, but you can see how quickly they all reacted. Let's try and get a little bit closer. And they're all starting to come out now, and this is a very relaxed business of mongoose.